Hello, everyone, and welcome back for another math lesson. Today, we are going to find how multiplication facts are related using a little bit of addition and subtraction. So, please make sure that you have your math journal and a writing utensil ready to go.
Hey there, Zerner. I'm Miss Laurie. Let's get started with an array. Can you write a multiplication sentence that represents this array?
All right, guys, in your Nearpod, please write the multiplication sentence that represents this array. Well, when we look at this array, we will notice that there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows and 1, 2, 3 columns. If we were to skip count by threes, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15 is our total.
This array shows 5 times 3. Let's add some more rows to our array. Write a multiplication sentence to describe the part that we added.
All right, guys. So now we're going to write a multiplication equation that describes just the orange counters. So the same way we wrote a multiplication sentence up here to describe the purple, we're going to do the exact same thing for the orange. Please do that in your Nearpod at this time. All right. Well, when we're looking at just the orange, we'll notice that there are 1, 2 rows and still 3 columns. If we skip count by threes, 3, 6 is our total.
This part shows 2 times 3. That's right. This part shows 5 times 3. This part shows 2 times 3. And the whole entire array shows 7 times 3. Let's write this another way. How many 3's are in 5 times 3? How many 3's are in 2 times 3?
All right. How many threes are in 5 times 3? How many threes are in 5 times 3? Please answer in the Nearpod now. In 5, there are how many threes are there in 5 times 3? There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 threes in 5 times 3. Well, how many threes are there in 2 times 3? Answer in your Nearpod. There are 2 sets of 3 in 2 times 3. So we have 5 threes and 2 threes.
This array shows 5 3's plus 2 3's.
Yes. How many 3's are there altogether?
Well, tell me in your Nearpod then, guys. How many threes are there altogether if we have 5 threes and 2 threes? That's right. Now we have 7 threes.
7 3's equals 5 3's plus 2 3's. We're just adding 2 parts of the array together. See? 7 rows of 3 is the same as 5 rows of 3 plus 2 rows of 3. We already wrote the totals for the 2 parts of our array. Let's add those to find the total for the whole array.
All right. Well, we've already said that 5 times 3 is 15. And we've already said that 2 times 3 is equal to 6. So, what do you think that 7 times 3 is? Please answer in your Nearpod. Well, to find out what 7 times 3 is, all I needed to do was add my 15 plus my 6. And 15 plus 6 is 21. 7 times 3 equals 21.
We're solving 7 times 3 by using other multiplication facts to help us. 7 times 3 equals 5 times 3 plus 2 times 3, which equals 15 plus 6, or 21. Put it all together. What is 7 times 3?
And we have already said that 7 times 3 equals 21.
We'll solve this next one in our notes. Today we're working on Mission 1, Lesson 9. We want to solve 9 times 3. Look at this array. I'll use my finger to trace 10 threes. Notice that 9 threes is really close to 10 threes. Let's label 9 threes to show what we're trying to find. I'll write 9 times 3 equals question mark to show what we are solving for. You try.
All right, guys. And so remember, we don't have the Zern note sheet, but we do have our math journals. So here is what I want you to do. Listen very carefully. Please draw this array in your notebook. Please draw this array in your notebook. The top array, please shade in the circles or the counters. The bottom array, please leave those open so that they look white. We've already been told that the top array multiplication expression is 9 times 3. So you can write that on one side. We're about to find out the rest. Teachers, please pause the video to give the students time to draw the array and write the multiplication equation for the first array.
Now let's use the whole array to help us solve this problem. This whole array has 10 rows of 3. Can you write a multiplication sentence to represent that? Find the total of the whole array in your notes now.
All right, and so let's write a multiplication sentence that describes this entire array. And so we know that there are 9 counters going down, or 9 different rows of black counters, and that there are 3 columns. Well, if this is 9 rows in black, if there's one extra row here, we know that 9 plus 1 is 10. So there are a total of 10 rows in the whole array. We also know that the number of columns doesn't change, and so we know that there are 3 columns. If we want to find the total, we could count by threes, or we learned that it doesn't matter which factor we use because multiplication is commutative. And so I'm going to count by tens 3 times. So 10, 20, 30. There are 30 total counters in the whole array. And that's the whole thing.
The whole array has 10 rows of 3. 10 times 3 equals 30. Check your work.
All right, make sure you have that information in your math journal.
This array shows 10 threes. Remember, the problem asks for 9 times 3. Look how 10 threes is just 1 3 away from 9 threes. We can subtract 1 row of 3. How many circles are in this row? Use a multiplication sentence to label this row in your notes.
All right, well, guys, in our notes, we're going to write a multiplication sentence that describes this array of white counters. Well, we can look here and see that there is only one row and that there are 3 counters in each row, which is the columns. And so 1 times 3 is 1, 2, 3.
One times 3 equals 3. Check your work.
All right, teachers, pause the video if you need to. Students, make sure that you have all of this information in your math journal.
10 times 3 equals 30, and 1 times 3 equals 3. Now, we just need to subtract to find the value of 9 times 3. Let's record that thinking. 10 threes minus 1 3 equals 9 threes. Write that here.
All right, please make sure that you copy that whole math sentence in your journal. 10 threes minus 1 3 equals 9 threes.
Ten threes minus 1 3 equals 9 threes. Now let's write the number sentence. What does 10 threes equal? What does 1 3 equal?
All right, so now we're going to write a number sentence. What does 10 threes equal? Well, 10 3 times is 10, 20, 30. So 10 threes equals 30. And 1 3 is just 3. And they're going to have us subtract 30 minus 3. If you know what 30 minus 3 is, go ahead and write it in your journal now.
10 threes equals 30. 1 3 equals 3. Check your work.
All right, if you need to pause the video now to check your work or update any of your thinking, please ensure that we do so.
Let's solve now. What is 30 minus 3?
All right, you've had some time to think about it. What is 30 minus 3? I hope you said that 30 minus 3 is 27.
30 minus 3 equals 27. Let's also write that back here in our array. Check your work, and then do the same.
All right, please ensure that your notes are updated. Pause the video if you need to.
Let's put it all together. 9 times 3 is the same as 10 threes minus 1 3. That's 30 minus 3, or 27. So now answer the original question in your notes. 9 times 3 equals...
All right, guys. So now we know that 9 times 3 equals what? That's right. 9 times 3 equals 27.
Nine times 3 equals 27. Check your work.
All right, pause the video if you need to, and please make sure that all of your work is correct in your math journal.
We solved 9 times 3 by starting with an easy fact, 10 times 3, and then subtracting 1 3 from that. We just solved for the number of circles that are in this part of the array. Nice work! Let's try another. we will work with an array that shows 10 times 3 again. This time, let's use it to find the answer to 8 times 3. Help me pick an array that shows 8 times 3. Is it 10 threes minus 2 threes? Or is it 10 threes minus 3 threes?
All right, guys, which array should we use to find 8 times 3? And I'm going to label these A or B. In your Nearpod, please tell me which of these arrays we should use to find 8 times 3 based on what we've learned about using an array that we know in order to find a fact that we don't. All right, guys. Well, you should have selected B. And the reason we should have selected B is because there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 purple rows. And then there are 1, 2 orange rows. And 8 plus 2 gives us our 10.
We'll use this array to find 8 times 3. Let's start by finding how many circles are in the whole entire array. There are 10 rows of 3. Complete the multiplication sentence to find the total.
All right, guys, in your Nearpod, please give me a multiplication equation that describes this whole array. All right, you should have told me that this array has 10 rows and that there are 3 columns or 3 counters in each row. And as we learned in the last problem, we could count by tens, 10, 20, 30. There are a total of 30 counters in this array.
Ten times 3 equals 30.
Yes. Let's label the other part of the array now. How many 3's do we need to subtract to get 8 3's? Write a multiplication sentence for the part we're subtracting.
All right, guys, so let's look at our orange counters. We're now about to subtract, but I need to know what's the multiplication sentence or the multiplication equation for the part that is going to be subtracted. That is just the orange counters. Write an equation that represents the orange counters in your Nearpod now. Well, when we look at the orange counters, we'll see that there are 2 rows and 3 columns or 3 counters in each row. 2 times 3 is 6.
Two times 3 equals 6. We need to subtract 2 3's.
That's right. We can get 8 3's by subtracting 2 3's from 10 3's. Let's write out this thinking now. 10 3's minus what equals 8 3's?
All right, you tell me in Nearpod, please. 10 3's minus blank 3's equals 8 3's. What number goes in this blank? Make sure you look at the model. Well, our total array has 10 rows of 3. We know that the part that we're looking for is the 8 rows of 3. Our orange area contains 2 3's.
10 3's minus 2 3's equals 8 3's. Let's rewrite this using numbers. 10 3's is 30. What's 2 3's? Answer, then subtract.
All right, guys. So we know that 10 3's is 30. 2 3's is 2 times 3, which is 6. So 2 3's is 6. All right, so now I want you guys to tell me, please, what is 8 threes? Remember, we can subtract 30 minus 6 to find out what 8 threes is. Please tell me in your Nearpod. 30 minus 6 equals 24. 8 threes equals 24.
10 threes minus 2 threes equals 30 minus 6, which equals 24. So 8 times 3 equals...
So 8 times 3 equals what, guys? Answer your Nearpod. That's right. 8 times 3 equals 24. Great work.
8 times 3 equals 24. We found this by subtracting with easier facts. 10 threes minus 2 threes. Keep showing that effort in the Tower of Power.
All right, great work, guys. Your exit ticket and practice problems are in Google Classroom. Please work on those at this time. See you later.